Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to News You Can Use, the show where we share the spotlight on the most interesting, engaging and captivating stories we can possibly find. So, when you're ready, let's go. You viewers. A lifelike giant polar bear roamed through the nippy streets of London last week, leaving commuters bewildered and a little shaken at the sight of something they just couldn't quite wrap their heads around. The 8-foot-tall beast caused quite a stir amongst human and canine ranks when it took a leisurely stroll through the Hampstead Heath Park in North London. Next destination on the bear's list? Charing Cross Underground Station. Some of these commuters almost break their necks turning their heads when they notice the giant polar animal walking along the platform attempting to board the train. Fortunately, this mini hero was on hand to halt the bear's advances. God bless you, child. God bless you. It eventually reappeared, crossing the Millennium Bridge towards London's South Bank, causing the public to whip out their phones and nervously laugh as they snapped away at the very convincing looking bear.
It's a bit of a shock when you first see a polar bear walking around in central London.
I think he's quite a friendly polar bear.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he's quite a friendly polar bear. I think he's quite sweet.
The giant animal was unleashed as part of a promotional stunt to mark the launch of Sky Atlantic's latest TV offering, Fortitude. Prop specialists worked on the Arctic animal over a course of 8 weeks, using more than 60 different types of material to complete the realistic look. And I must add, they did a superb job. It's operated by 2 puppeteers who studied the movements of real polar bears to make the giant prop animal's movements look as real as possible. Now that looks like a lot of fun, but to be honest, I'm quite happy I wasn't there when it was wandering around everywhere, because if I was, I think we would have had bear problems. Get it? Bear problems? I'll leave now. In the world of nanotechnology, a group of forward-thinking engineers have finally come up with what we've all been waiting for. The world's smallest Bible. Yes.
I'm Lee from JMB, Jerusalem Nano Bible. Thank you. Let's go.
The New Testament scripture, which contains 27 different books, is now available on a tiny chip that has been inserted into jewellery. The company called Jerusalem Nano Bible have developed and launched their project that brings the possibility of anyone worldwide who may like the idea of keeping a talisman with the scripture close at all times to be able to do so. Each chip is made from a wafer with the size measuring a minuscule 4.76 millimeters. Absolutely tiny. An academic scholar validated with the use of a microscope that the text was indeed that of the New Testament.
Looking at the book of Matthew, I've been able to identify some words. I've been able to identify some phrases. As far as I can tell, this is the beginning of the book of Matthew. And there's no question that this is the text of the New Testament.
Question? Is small the new big? I mean, whatever happened to carrying around big classic copies of the Bible? Like, what's next to get the nano treatment? Pfft, memory cards? Oh, yeah, true. Oh, well, iPods? Alright, yeah. Well, I guess it's true what they say. It's not the size, it's how you use it. Those who have travelled will understand that when exploring the cultures of our fellow human beings, we often find alternative and different ways of living that in fact would be a good idea everywhere. This is such one of these occurrences. And we're back in the Bolivian capital of La Paz, where this weekend residents participated in the city's 3rd annual Day of the Hug. The event is organised by La Paz Cultural Affairs and Happiness Programme and is part of a citywide campaign to boost general happiness. Now just try and tell me that this idea does not have awesome written all over it. The happiness campaign is in part an acknowledgement of the challenges faced by the city's roughly 1 million residents. Among other issues, La Paz residents have to deal with notorious traffic problems, daily street protests, and the historical tension between indigenous Bolivians and those of European descent. Now you may be wondering, what's with all the zebras? Well, they're troubled youths, invited by the program to help rehabilitate and restart their lives by offering them a job as a street zebra. The zebras are a regular attraction in the city, and there's a general feeling of hope and light-hearted fun when they're around. Waldo Balder, another hugging participant, shared his positive outlook on the event.
Y las cebritas han organizado este evento donde podemos expresar a través de un abrazo mucho sentimiento. Es lo más maravilloso abrazar a una persona que quieres y algo muy novedoso abrazar a una persona que no quieres, o sea que no conoces.
The goal of the day was to complete 30,000 hugs, and maybe much more were actually achieved. To complete the day of the hug celebrations, the famous Bolivian pop rock band Octavia closed activities by giving a special performance, and all for free. So anyone that's watching now, in the face of any challenge or difficulties, just go outside, find the nearest person and hug it out. Costs nothing and feels great. Now, I don't think women get enough credit for what they do when they give birth. I mean, just do the math and think about this one. You know, like... Just watch this. A young family in Tampa, Florida celebrate the arrival of their 14-pound newborn baby named Avery, who was delivered without C-section last week at St. Joseph's Women's Hospital in Florida, USA. Mother Maxandra Ford spoke about when she found out just how much her newborn baby weighed.
One of the nurses came back and I was like, oh, does anybody know how much my baby weighed? And they were like, oh my God, your baby weighed 14 pounds and 1 ounce. What? My baby weighed what? They were like, your baby is adorably huge. And I was like, 14 pounds, are you sure? They were like, yeah.
And this isn't Ford's first surprise during her pregnancy. She didn't even know she was pregnant until 35 weeks along. Avery's father, Alan Denson, says he was also surprised to learn the size of his newborn.
When I heard the news, when I went in the room, I was shocked. 14 pounds? I said, that's not normal. They ain't normal. I never seen a 14-pound baby unless they were 4 or 5 months. But when I heard the news, I was shocked and surprised.
Avery, who officially weighed 14.1 pounds at birth, set a record at the hospital, becoming the biggest child ever born there. A very interesting title to hold. He currently eats 4 ounces every 3 hours, around double what a typically sized newborn baby does. But doctors say Avery is doing well, and we wish him and his lovely family all the very best. So, feel free to ask your parents just how much you weighed when you were born. And if it's anything over 10 pounds, we'd be inclined to come and give your mum a big hug just for being so amazing. And now for our final and most inspirational clip of the week, Ben Jackson. Ben Jackson is 22 years old. Growing up in Tobiana in Pennsylvania, he has faced challenges since the day he was born, which is maybe one aspect of how he's conditioned himself to defy any expectation from the outside world around him. Diagnosed with cerebral palsy as an infant, Ben came to understand that his physical condition would always set him apart from his peers. Often the only child with a disability in his class, Ben sometimes looked for something besides his disability to help him stand out and feed what he calls his naturally competitive nature. He found that sense of confidence in athletics, specifically in the sport of wrestling.
In the very beginning, I lost every single match my first season of wrestling, but for me, the losing wasn't the focus point. The main focus was that in every single match, I got closer and closer to achieving my goal.
Another source of confidence from day one had been Ben's parents. Margaret and Pedro both recall earliest memories of being told all the things that their son wouldn't be able to do.
And the doctors stated that he could not do the thing that he's doing today. As his father, I don't take no for answers. Whatever he said he can't do, I reverse that and show that he could do it.
Most of the doctors told you about what they thought he would never be able to do, such as not necessarily leading a productive life as far as walking and doing other things like that. Ben is now 22. He attends Northampton Community College. He has numerous awards that he received upon graduation from high school. When he was 13, I believe, he came home and told myself and his father that he wanted to start wrestling.
He is clearly a driven guy, so when you see him at the next Olympics, remember you saw him here first. So there it is, people, a real life, inspirational story to remind you to keep pushing for what you believe in, even when the odds are stacked against you. Good luck to you, Ben, we're rooting for you, and we're sure with such supportive parents, you're going for gold. Yeah, sure, man, I can help you out with that. Alright, man, peace. So, it's the end of the show, but before you go, I have a very important message from an old pal of ours.
G'day, I'm Picasso, and I need a date. I'm looking for my perfect mate. Now, standing here in my birthday suit, I still think I look pretty cute. Many people have seen me watching whilst I paint with it. I should have a big flashing sign. Show me yours, as you've seen mine. But 10 years on, I'm still single. At parties I do try to mingle. I'm dressed in my big pink hat and boots. I don't get many random routes. I have a house, which really rocks. I have a dog, a cat, and a few peacocks. I'll cook, I sew, I can wash up too, and I'll massage. Only part of you. But Valentine's Day is here again. For me, it's just a real big pain. Chemistry still works just fine. But what I feel is only mine. So if you want to get to know me better, just ring, or text, or send a letter. Joe, Joanne, Paul, Bob, or Rudy. At my age, I can't be that choosy.
And that's your lot for this week. Love is in the air, so if you've got any good news stories, or romantic ones that you want to share, Facebook or Twitter, get in touch, because we want to hear from you. So now go forth and spread the love. But just make sure you're clean and ready for the next episode. Till next time, guys. Peace.